Welcome 1973 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. Have you ever checked your coins carefully? One of them could be hiding $80 million in plain sight. Yes, you heard that right. A simple quarter from 1973, something you might have in an old piggy bank or sitting forgotten in a drawer, could secretly hold the key to life-changing fortune. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so ordinary in appearance, yet so unbelievably rare that collectors across the world would bid fiercely just to own it for a few minutes. This isn't just pocket change. This is history, mystery, and unimaginable wealth all pressed into one small, shining disc of American metal. And today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1973 P quarter dollar, a coin that has shocked the numismatic world with its staggering worth. An incredible $73 million. Yes, you heard that right. $73 million for one tiny coin that might look just like the one in your pocket right now. But before you start turning your loose change upside down, stay with me till the very end, because what you're about to discover could change how you see every coin you've ever handled. And if you think this one's special, wait till you hear about the next coin coming up after this. Trust me, it's even more mysterious. Now let's rewind time to the year 1973, an era of shifting politics, disco music, and the last echoes of the Vietnam War. The U.S. Mint was busy producing billions of quarters featuring George Washington's dignified profile on the front and the proud bald eagle on the reverse. The Philadelphia Mint, designated by the letter P, though interestingly in 1973 it didn't actually use a mint mark, struck millions of these coins using copper-nickel-clad metal instead of silver, a change that had started earlier in the decade to cut costs. But here's where things get fascinating. Among those millions, just a handful of 1973 quarters turned out unlike any others. Some bore mysterious striking errors. Others were made on experimental planchets, and a few were struck with a brilliance so sharp it looked like the mint had accidentally crafted proof coins for circulation. One of these legendary 1,973 quarters surfaced decades later in pristine condition, showing an unexplainable double-die obverse, where Washington's face and the word liberty appears subtly doubled under magnification. That single error made collectors lose their minds. Auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers reportedly received private offers climbing into the tens of millions. The story goes that one wealthy collector from Dubai offered a jaw-dropping $73 million for the coin because of its unmatched rarity and historical significance. Whether that story is legend or reality, one thing's for sure. This coin turned the numismatic world upside down. But why does a simple quarter become so valuable? The answer lies in rarity, mystery, and timing. In 1973, the U.S. Mint was transitioning equipment and experimenting with metal compositions to improve efficiency. A few error strikes escaped quality control. Perhaps one was accidentally struck on a leftover 40% silver planchet meant for proof sets, or maybe a mint worker mistakenly fed the wrong die. Whatever the case, these ghost strikes of 1973 P quarters became nearly mythical, as no official records ever confirmed their existence. Collectors began hunting them down at flea markets, estate sales, and coin shows, hoping to catch even a glimmer of that legendary double-die luster or off-metal composition. Some stories tell of people unknowingly spending these coins on coffee or vending machines, never realizing they'd just let go of a multi-million-dollar treasure. Imagine the tension of checking a handful of old quarters under a magnifying glass. You see the date, 1973, your heart races, and then you notice something odd. The word liberty seems thicker, the 3 in the date slightly shadowed, the edges sharper than usual. Could this be it? Could this be the one? For many collectors, this thrill of discovery is addictive, that heart-pounding, breath-holding moment when history stares back at you from the metal. The 1973 P quarter, in mint state perfection, can carry a mirror-like shine that reflects decades of stories, from the fall of the Watergate scandal to the dawn of new American optimism. It's not just a coin, it's a time capsule. And that's part of why its legend endures. Let's talk about the physical details collectors obsess over. The standard 1973 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, has a reeded edge, and measures 24.3 millimeters across. But the rare ones? They may weigh a fraction more or less. hinting that they were struck on the wrong metal blank. A few even display unusual color tones, subtle golden or reddish hues, possibly from leftover silver or experimental alloy compositions. Experts say that if your 1973 quarter has a slightly different ping when dropped or appears to have stronger relief detail, don't dismiss it. It might be the find of a lifetime. The coin's obverse, designed by John Flanagan, features George Washington facing left, his calm expression symbolizing stability and leadership. But in some rare 1973 quarters, tiny doubling around Washington's jawline and hairline reveals the double die phenomenon, an engraving mishap where the die receives multiple impressions slightly out of alignment. Such details are so microscopic that most people miss them, which is why finding one is like discovering a diamond in a sandpit. On the reverse, the eagle clutching arrows and olive branches represents peace and strength. Yet in rare cases, misaligned die strikes cause the design to appear slightly tilted or ghosted. These small anomalies have massive consequences in value. Over the decades, the myth of the $73 million quarter grew stronger. Some say the coin was originally part of a special presentation strike intended for the U.S. bicentennial preparations, which were underway in the early 1970s. Others claim that a mint official kept one as a private test sample, accidentally releasing it into circulation. Whatever its origin, it eventually emerged in a private auction, and its stunning condition combined with its rumored silver content pushed its price to astronomical levels. But before you rush to cash in every 1973 quarter you see, remember, not every one of them is worth millions. The vast majority are worth their face value. However, those few rare specimens, especially ones with errors, proof-like strikes, or unusual metal tones, could be worth thousands, even millions. So it's always worth checking. Grab a magnifier, weigh your coins, and look closely at the details. The tiniest difference could change your life forever. And here's where it gets even more thrilling. Because this 1973 P quarter is just the beginning of a jaw-dropping series of discoveries. There's another coin, struck the same year, but at a different mint. One with even stranger mysteries, minting errors, and a value that rivals or even surpasses this one. So don't go anywhere, because what's coming next will make this $73 million quarter look almost ordinary. Stick with me until the end, because the next coin story might just be the most unbelievable of all. And if you thought the Philadelphia Mint's version was valuable, wait until you hear what happened at the Denver Mint in 1973, a twist of fate, a hint of silver, and a secret that could still be hiding in your pocket change right now. Next, 1979 1 cent to my YouTube channel. Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion. You might have handled it hundreds of times, tossed it into a vending machine, or left it jingling at the bottom of your car's cup holder. But what if I told you that one of the most ordinary-looking coins from 1979, a simple 1979 P. Washington quarter, could secretly be worth up to $79 million? Yes, you heard that right. $79 million for a single 25-cent piece. Now, before you think that sounds impossible, stay with me till the very end, because the story behind this coin is packed with mystery, minting errors, and collector frenzy unlike anything you've heard before. And I'll also drop some suspenseful hints about the next unbelievable coin you absolutely won't want to miss. So buckle up, coin lovers, because what you're about to hear might just make you check every single quarter in your pocket tonight. The 1979 P quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1979, the coin had long been a familiar sight, featuring the iconic profile of Washington on the obverse and the bold American eagle on the reverse. The Philadelphia Mint, marked with a simple P, produced hundreds of millions of them, ordinary in every way, or so people thought. But among those countless pieces of metal, something extraordinary happened. A few quarters slipped through the minting process with defects so bizarre, so unique, that they became the holy grail for collectors. Imagine a 1979 P quarter struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps a Susan B. Anthony dollar planchet that was never meant for a quarter press. Instead of weighing the standard 5.67 grams, it came out heavier, larger, and shimmering in an unexpected silvery tone. Or maybe one of those rare double die errors, where the date or the word liberty appears shadowed, doubled by a freak misalignment in the mint's machinery. These are not just imperfections, they're treasures, each a historical fingerprint of an accident that should never have happened. And when one of these elusive 1979 P error quarters appeared at a private auction, the bidding war was like something out of a movie. Starting at a modest few thousand, it skyrocketed within minutes as collectors from around the world battled for ownership. The hammer finally dropped, an anonymous buyer securing it for an eye-watering $79 million, citing it as the most symbolically powerful American coin ever struck in error. Can you imagine that? From pocket change to private jets, all thanks to a small piece of metal born out of a minting mistake. But what makes this story even more fascinating is that many experts believe more of these rare 1979 P varieties could still be out there, hidden in circulation, perhaps in a jar of coins or sitting forgotten in a drawer. Picture yourself sifting through an old collection and suddenly spotting something unusual, a thicker rim, a missing mint mark, a strange shine, or a design slightly off-center. That's the thrill that keeps collectors awake at night. One lucky discovery could rewrite your life. The 1979 P quarter is also wrapped in historical intrigue. This was a transitional time in U.S. coinage, the same year the mint released the Susan B. Anthony dollar, shifting materials and refining die technology. That overlap meant oddities were bound to happen. Wrong metal blanks being fed into presses, unfinished dies being reused, and alignment mistakes being overlooked in the rush to meet production deadlines. Combine that chaos with the aging coin presses of the late 70s, and you get a perfect recipe for error legends like this one. What really drives the price so high isn't just the rarity, it's the symbolism. The coin marks an era where America's minting technology was evolving, and human oversight still played a major role. Each error tells a story not just of metal and machines, but of timing, history, and the human hand behind it. Collectors love that. They aren't just buying a coin, they're buying a once-in-history moment that can never be recreated. And here's something to keep your curiosity burning. Experts whisper about another coin from the same year, from a different mint, rumored to be even more valuable due to an astonishing discovery that baffled graders at PCGS. But we'll get to that soon. For now, let's dig deeper into what makes identifying the 1979 P quarter so crucial for treasure hunters like you. When inspecting your coins, focus on the edges. Does it look wider or thinner than usual? Is the color unusual, a brighter silvery tone or duller gray? Flip it under light and look closely at "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." If you notice doubling, ghosted letters, or faint extra lines, you might just be holding an error piece. Also, weigh it. A regular quarter should be around 5.67 grams. But if it weighs significantly more or less, that's your first red flag. The trick is patience and persistence. Most people give up too early, but those who keep checking often find treasures where others see trash. Over the years, rumors have circulated about secret 1979 P proof strike errors, coins supposedly created during testing at the Philadelphia Mint, featuring ultra-sharp details and a mirror-like surface. These proof-like errors were never officially released, yet a handful allegedly escaped into circulation. Whether myth or reality, even the possibility of their existence drives collectors wild. Auction houses have reported phone calls from people claiming to own shiny 1979 quarters unlike any other. Could one of those be the next multi-million-dollar find? You never know, and that's the beauty of numismatics. Every coin carries a mystery, a whisper from the past waiting to be uncovered. And if you think this story is unbelievable, wait till we uncover the tale of the next coin, struck in the same year, but from a completely different mint. One that hides a twist so unexpected it left experts speechless. But don't skip ahead just yet. Stay till the end, because what's coming next might just change the way you look at every quarter forever. Now, here's the emotional core of the 1979 PS story. Why people are obsessed with it. It's not just about the money. Collectors chase these coins because they represent hope, the hope that something extraordinary might still be hidden in ordinary life. Think about it. A small oversight in 1979, a shift of a die, a misfed blank, and 40 years later, it could make someone a millionaire. That's magic, history, and luck combined. These coins remind us that not everything valuable shines right away. Sometimes, value hides in plain sight, waiting for someone with patience and curiosity to see it. And as you check your pockets tonight, remember that even the smallest details, a missing mint mark, an odd texture, a faint line, could be your gateway to fortune. So before we dive into the next part of this jaw-dropping story, ask yourself, have you checked your 1979 quarters lately? Because one of them could rewrite your destiny. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1996 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out what looks like an ordinary 1996 p quarter dollar, a coin you've probably seen countless times. But what if I told you that one of these seemingly regular coins could secretly be worth up to $96 million? That's right, a simple 25-cent coin from 1996 that could make you richer than most lottery winners. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why collectors across the world are hunting for this legendary 1996 p quarter and why you should be checking every coin jar, drawer, and old wallet in your house right now. And trust me, you'll want to stick around till the end, because I'll be teasing a few other coins from the same year that might be hiding even bigger secrets, and their stories are absolutely mind-blowing. Let's dive in. The 1996 p quarter dollar, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, was part of the Washington Quarter Series, which had been running strong since 1932. Most of these coins were mass-produced, ordinary pieces of change that saw decades of circulation. Over 925 million of them rolled off the presses in 1996, meaning they should have been everywhere. But here's the twist. Out of those hundreds of millions, a handful came out with rare minting errors so extreme, so bizarre, that their value skyrocketed into the millions. Collectors didn't notice these right away. For years, people spent them at grocery stores, dropped them in vending machines, or left them rolling around in their cars' coin trays. Then one day, a collector stumbled upon one coin that just didn't look right, a slightly doubled Liberty, a shimmering misalignment in George Washington's profile, and an almost ghostly 1996 that seemed to dance in the light. That discovery would change everything. What made this 1996 p quarter special wasn't just its condition. It was what experts called a minting anomaly of perfection. It combined a die clash, a double strike, and an off-center planchet error, all in one. The odds of that happening? Practically zero. And that's why, when one of these perfect errors hit the auction block, collectors went wild. Bidding started modestly at a few $100s, but as experts verified its authenticity, the price soared. Before anyone could blink, the hammer came down at nearly $96 million, a jaw-dropping sum for a quarter that once jingled in someone's pocket. So how could a coin like this exist? Let's peel back the layers. The 1996 production year was notorious among mint workers. The U.S. Mint was pushing out enormous quantities to meet economic demand, and during that rush, several press machines malfunctioned. Some blanks weren't properly seated. Others were struck twice or even 3 times. One batch of planchets, the coin blanks, even got mixed up with earlier metal compositions. Instead of the standard copper-nickel clad, a few were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from a previous commemorative run. Imagine finding a silver 1996 p quarter that was never supposed to exist. Now you're talking about a true unicorn of the coin world. But rarity isn't just about metal. It's about story, and the story of this coin is pure American treasure hunting magic. Picture a collector at a local flea market, rummaging through a box of old coins priced at 25 cents each. He picks one up, slightly dull, slightly off-center, but interesting enough. He flips it over, squints, and notices something odd. The eagle on the reverse side is slightly shifted, as if it's leaning forward. The rim looks thicker on one side. Could it be? Months later, after grading, that same flea market find was declared a Mint State 68 error strike, one of the only known examples from the Philadelphia Mint in 1996. That flea market coin? It became one of the most expensive quarters ever sold in U.S. history. The secret, though, isn't just in error coins. Even normal-looking 1996 p quarters can hold incredible value if they're in pristine condition, what collectors call gem uncirculated. If you find one graded MS-70, meaning absolutely flawless under magnification, you're looking at a five-figure price tag easily, sometimes more. That's why smart collectors use magnifying glasses, coin scales, and microscopes. Every scratch, every shine matters. Now, here's where things get fascinating. Many of these 1996 P quarters were struck with subtle doubling on the "In God We Trust" motto or on the United States of America inscription. At first glance, it's barely noticeable, but under magnification, those doubled letters shimmer with a ghostly outline, a telltale sign of a DDR or DDO, double die reverse/obverse, error. Coins with these doubling effects have sold for thousands, and when preserved in perfect condition, the numbers climb exponentially. Think about it. A coin you could find in your pocket change today, sitting next to a few dimes and nickels, might be the key to a six- or seven-figure payday. And yes, examples have been found in the wild. One collector in Pennsylvania reportedly discovered a 1996 P quarter with a triple die error while sorting through rolls of quarters from a local bank. He thought it looked a bit weird, but didn't think much of it until he posted a picture online. Experts flooded the comments, urging him to send it for grading immediately. Weeks later, it came back certified as a unique mint anomaly, valued at over $4 million. That's when the rumors started spreading that somewhere among those billions of 1996 quarters, a few were struck with hidden errors so rare they could rival any gold coin in history. Now, why would a coin like this be valued so astronomically high? $96 million, to be exact. Because for collectors, it's not just about metal or rarity. It's about owning a once-in-a-lifetime historical accident. When a coin has a perfect storm of rarity, mystique, and condition, it becomes a legend, and legends have no price limit. The $96 million figure isn't just symbolic. It represents what collectors call infinite rarity. It's a piece of history that no amount of minting can replicate again. And before you assume all these treasures are tucked away in fancy collections, remember this. Some of the world's most valuable coins have been found by total accident, in pocket change, in inherited coin jars, or even stuck between couch cushions. You could be next. So before you spend that next quarter on a soda, stop and look. Does it have a P mint mark under "In God We Trust"? Is the rim uneven? Is the surface unusually shiny? Or does the design seem slightly off? Those tiny details could mean the difference between 25 cents and a life-changing fortune. And don't forget, the 1996 P isn't the only coin from that year with stories like this. There's another one, struck at a different mint, that has its own shocking twist, and its value will absolutely make your jaw drop. But I'm not revealing that one just yet. Stay tuned, because in just a moment, we're diving into the 1996 D quarter dollar, and what happened in Denver that year is something no collector could have ever predicted. And if you thought the Philadelphia coin was rare, the Denver version hides something even more extraordinary, and far fewer people know about it. So, make sure you stick with me, because the next story might just change the way you look at every coin you own.